Okay, working with my buddy Ripley in this sequence. Ripley is one of the more challenging dogs I've worked with. He is, his reactions are quite energetic. He can fixate and react from hundreds and hundreds of feet away. And I've had the most trouble with him trying to break his fixations and teaching him that when he sees something that could potentially stress him out, that would be a cue to look back at me. It was a wonderful day out, one of the nicest weather days of the year. I was anticipating seeing a bunch of dogs, and we did. Let's see how we did. This is the first dog we saw. This dog was about maybe 200 or so feet away. He was looking at him, not too bad. He went a little bit longer than I would have liked, so I walked into his peripherals just to prompt him. I like to practice from, especially with a dog like Ripley, who has such a strong history of reactions. When we're at this distance, if it's easy for him to do, I'll just kind of give him some time, let him think about it. If he doesn't make a choice in a time that I'm comfortable with, 5 seconds at this distance, maybe a little bit more. I think I gave him 6 or 7. Sorry about the 6 or 7 reference. I gave him that time, and then I just walked into his peripherals. That was enough to say, oh, hey, there you are. I rewarded him for it, and off we went. Another reward. Little look. He gave it up on his own, and that was important. The dog was pretty much at the same distance. Oh, hey, buddy. The dog was pretty much at the same distance, and instead of re-engaging with the dog, he's just like, whatever, and looked forward, so I went ahead and took that. This next sequence is, we had seen a couple of other dogs before now, and this dog was quite far away, probably 700 feet away. This dog was off leash, actively running. There were some other people, which I'll point out, that come into frame. He did fixate on the other people, as he usually does. But once he understood that that's a person and a small child, he's like, okay, I'm good with that. I want to show that the run-up to seeing a dog, especially one of his more challenging types of triggers, I like to take it slow. I'll stop him along the way and make sure he's doing well. Let's see how we did. Sorry about the camera work. All right. So here we go. Dog, the dog is over here with its owner, and he did fixate. He could have fixated on this person and the other dog, but I'm guessing, I don't speak Ripley, but I kind of know him pretty well. I'm guessing he was fixating on these folks to start. Here we go. Yep, that was a nice response from him. I let him look, and he just beautifully kind of turned his head back to me all on his own. Yeah, I love that shot right there. And when his tongue is coming out, I had just blown the whistle, which is a marker signal. That tongue comes out, it lets me know, hey, he understands that he's getting some food that he likes, and it's on the way. But him choosing to turn back towards me is a wonderful choice. Let's see how the rest of this went. I gave him more because I like him. And I'm going to get in closer. I was, at this point, I really wanted to press. I was feeling really good about how he was responding. And I knew the dog and the other dog were hanging out over here. And I was going in. I was going to go in for a very close run to this other dog. The closest he's been to an off-leash dog has been about 45, 55 feet. I was trying to beat that record today. Let's see how he did. So we're going in. I'm going to stop. And then stop and just check him along the way. He's looking at this dog, which is tough to see. He's seen the dog run around. I'm going to stop, give him a chance to slow his mind down and think about it and make a good choice, which he did. He turned back towards me. Here we go. Sloppy feeding, my bad. I'm going to clean up. Here we go. Again, pressing forward. I really wanted to test him this trial. And I like that point right there. He was kind of looking at the car. Car went by. He's kind of casually looking at the car. That didn't seem like much, but that's a really good sign for me. There were times that I've worked Ripley. If there was a dog up here, he would be locked on. I think, let's see here. He would have been like super locked on, laser focused at that dog. He wouldn't have even noticed that other car coming by. Okay, here we go. Getting closer, I'm getting brave here. Rewarding him slowly as we get closer. Okay, so you hear dogs barking in the background on that one. This guy responds to multiple triggers, audible stuff, visual stuff, the combination of stuff, mostly centered around dogs. I want you to watch as we're getting closer. The other dog is hanging out right around here. I want you to watch. We just heard a bark. I want you to watch how he responds. Here we go. And you see that little shimmy in his butt right there? Let me back him up a little bit. Okay, so we're going to go through. Let's see if we go half speed here. Watch this little shimmy in his butt. I stopped. You see his butt moving around a little bit? That, for me, is a cue that when he started moving his butt over here, that eventually he's going to turn his head around towards me. So I knew unless something goofy happened, I knew he was going to come back and look back at me because he's a good guy. Here we go. There's that look back. Oh, he's such a good boy. There's the dog. And a point of note, too, this was a park that we go to all the time. There are leash laws in Orland, but a lot of people that go to this park don't obey them. There's always tons of dogs and tons of activity in here. So he has just a natural, let's say his energy level is raised up whenever we come across this park because he's seen dogs in here on numerous occasions. So that's something to factor in as well. Here we go. Getting closer, I'm getting greedy. Getting closer, dog's over here. Aha. First sign of trouble right there. I used the whistle as a marker, and he did not respond to that. We weren't that close. We were maybe 200 or so feet away from that dog at that point. This was a park that we've seen tons of dogs, so we're starting to stack some triggers. We saw that first dog. We saw a couple of other dogs through our encounter. We've been immersed in this same situation for a couple of minutes as we approach this other dog, but he refused, did not respond to the marker. And I have spent a ton of time and given him a ton of food and really tried to overemphasize the marker. So that was my first indication that things were not well. Here we go. Bam. Okay, you heard the dogs barking in the background. This was a sneak attack. There's a house directly over here that folks let their dogs, not out into the front, it wasn't an invisible fence, but there were two, a large dog and a smaller dog hanging out that just kind of exploded into the yard. And that's important because I mentioned all the things that we have encountered during this walk. We've been immersed with this doggo over here. And lo and behold, when things were starting to get a little shaky, bam, something else shows up over here, which makes my job a little bit more difficult. Let's see how we did. Okay, he refused the whistle. This is me bonking him with a piece of food. He didn't respond to the whistle. Usually when I whistle, he'll whip his head towards me. So that's another bit of information for me saying that things are not all so well with Mr. Ripley. Here we go. He refused the food too. Okay, food went down on the ground. He looked at it, had no interest, but more importantly, that paw came up, and he is laser focused on those guys over here. They just kind of crashed our party. His attention went from this dog over here directly to these guys. So those things altogether, 2 refusals of the whistles or not responding to the whistle marker, didn't pick up the food, chose to engage visually with the other dogs, and the telltale sign that things are not all so comfy inside Mr. Ripley's head. At this point, I wanted to get out of Dodge because I thought a reaction was imminent. So we just boogied. He's going to look back. I did try to whistle one more time. We created some more distance. The other dog is kind of out of view, but they were over here, a little bit to the right, about 50 feet that way. We were creating some distance from the other dog. I thought we were okay, where I could have marked him and rewarded him for a job well done and then got out of Dodge. But he didn't pay attention to the whistle. He wanted to go. So off we went. We took off and just created some distance. That's the end of it. It wasn't perfect at all. The fact that he refused the marker and refused food, for me, is just information. I probably pushed a little too hard. I can't control the environment, so sometimes when things are going well, you never know who or what is going to show up to change things. But the main thing is that my buddy Ripley didn't react. He knows a let's go cue. I didn't use it here, but once we start moving away from something, we'll tend to run away at great speed just to create distance. But all in all, not a perfect session with my buddy, but no reaction, so it was pretty good. All right.